So I call this place Thunderheart.
Hmm.
It's actually more than just a campground that I discovered for, campground for one tent or whatever. Teresa and I have put a lot of time into creating a pit house, a traditional pit house structure. The natives in this area used to build them, and that was primarily for their winter uh, homes. And so we've, put a lot of time in building this thing, and then someone down below became an obnoxious neighbor.
Oh.
They weren't happy with what we were doing there for some reason. It wasn't impacting them hardly at all. But they kind of trashed the place one time and turned over our picnic table and this and that. And so we kind of lost heart just in terms of the spontaneity of going up there and having a really peaceful place.
Hmm.
And instead we had this, it was like the the wicked witch has always got her eye on. So we,
Right.
for the last couple of years, they haven't really been up there. But when I went up here the other night, and I encountered this stone. No, this not stone. This is wood. This is a cross section of a tree.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
one centered point, another center point,
Hmm.
and another
Hmm.
center point. Now, how resonant with this
Wow.
Barbary crop circle that we've been working with?
Hmm.
I mean, to find I don't know if I've ever seen a tree cross section like this with three trees coming out of the one base. So,
Wow.
and the fact that it shows up right at this juncture. Um,
Hmm. Wow. Each point looks like it has stars radiating from like,
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like
wow.
the Mandela principle, really, which is what
Hmm.
we're dealing
Mhm.
with as well with the crop circle. And so it's something
Wow.
I'm contemplating now, and having created this and looking ahead to this meeting, I thought, who's really going to resonate with this? And you guys show up, and this is it. We're it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't planned this way. And we've got
No.
probably 20 people in the extended group.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Here, the three of us, show up, and we've got this going on. So um, the next time you come to Canada, Barb,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll gather up at Thunderheart.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm
good.
training. Yeah. But I like always, I somehow it's very like when you see a tree cut like this, it always sort of attracts me. I always sort of
Yeah,
want to take a picture of it, you know.
I'm
It's
the
like
very same. Yeah.
it's so beautiful and it's so it has this secret. There's kind of a secret in it, you know. It's a language. It's like really like
Yeah. It's a record. It's record. It's like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, not on like this is a record of this group of, you know, I how many years or in different years it happened like one that they grew like in this group, you know, like
yeah.
having this group thing.
Yeah, it's just so tightly connected.
Yeah, so sweet. It feels so
Hmm.
like family. That's what it is. Family.
Yeah.
A family tree.
Yeah. They're living their life.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they come together. Wow.
Yeah, that's a cool
One,
connection.
I don't know what this one's about. Just I think this was the leftovers, man. This
Wonderful,
this
wonderful.
image of the hand touching the light, I've used that in the book that I have produced about
Mm,
tales and tools from the lightning path. And it
mhm,
refers for me back to that moment in when I was 21 years of age, when I had this mystical um, experience with light, where I was in my room in my parents' home. I was like the teenager getting ready to move out of the house kind of thing,
Mhm.
but I'm still living there, and I'm in the basement, and I'm having this really awful day. Like I'm just so distraught. I'm distraught at what's happening in the world. I'm distraught at what's happening in my life, you know, with my friends and my, the schooling that I was engaged in, which was the university at that time. And I was just really, I virtually was on my knees. I really was on my knees and oriented down. And I suddenly felt this warmth at the back of my head. And I turned to see the light. And that's what I saw. I turned and there
Yeah.
was this bright light. And the experience was that I had a choice. I could either head up to this light or I could continue this downward descent.
Mhm.
And it was like in that moment I realized I had the choice and I took the choice, to
Mhm.
descend. That's really the nub of it right there. It was I I consciously chose this ascent path. And so this hand image takes me right back to that spot
Wow.
moment. And so for it to be now recurring here as part of our ongoing journey, it like I really have to
No,
start.
it looks also, sorry,
No, go ahead.
it also looks like a navel,
Ah.
a navel point. I just got the idea
Mhm.
because of yoga. The navel is the most important point actually on a human being. And this looks also like a navel, where you
Yeah.
sort of like with the finger,
Yeah.
it's like the healing energy. You can with the navel, you also this is Bruce, this is also where you can put stones very
Oh,
often.
yeah.
That's a really good place to put for healing stones. So that's just I'm just mentioning that because we were talking about the stones before and the healing process. So it always sort of has a center, but yeah, this also looks like a Kundalini experience you had,
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne,
Yeah, yeah, that could very well be. And
because
in my research, of course, and in my continuing
Mhm,
quest to understand, why did this happen to me? What does it actually, how do I reference it? How do I log
mhm,
that? When I came across the work of Arthur Young, who got the first Bell helicopter off the ground,
mhm,
he was an inventor, but he was also he moved from physics to metaphysics in his career. And he came up with this arc of consciousness that talks about the descent from light into molecular constraint. It's like there's this path of increasing constraint as we come down the ladder, so to speak. And then there's the point, and he calls it the turn,
mhm,
which is totally resonant with what I actually experienced, which was the turn means there's a choice made that takes this descending uh, uh, entity uh,
Mhm.
back onto an ascending course,
Yeah.
the return to the source.
Yeah.
He's got it mapped out in stages, and it really has all to do with the amount of freedom that, from unlimited freedom kind of thing at the source point. Uh, there's the descent into matter, and most concretely at the molecular level.
Mhm.
And it's then from within that molecular level that we're making the ascent back up to
Mhm.
up and into, you know, the light. So
Mhm. Yeah.
so of all my research, that's been his model has been the one that's made the most sense for me in terms of what this is all about.
Mm.
You know, I mean the whole notion of the lightning path, like that there is a journey, and then there are stages, and it requires a choice. You know, it's all about choice.
Yeah.
I like to say choice is the final frontier. You know,
Mhm. Conscious choice.
not just choice.
And I just did for Uranus. The other day, I was just reading that it's also Uranus has this seeding moment. You know, this looks also like this moment where you put like a seed when you're seeding something, when you're seeding light energy, for example. But in this, and I was, I don't know, was it Pluto? I think it's not Uranus. I think it was Pluto, because I was reading something about Pluto.
Pluto
What
is
he's
definitely
doing,
related to the seed.
huh?
Pluto and the seed are definitely related.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mixed this, but this just came into my mind right now as well, because we go through this Pluto return story with the Americans, and we all have to sort of go through it because all the other countries are waiting for the moves they're making. So it's really a seeding time for um, new possibilities, or for a new humanity, if you want.
Well, that's where why I'm paying so close attention to Neptune being last degrees of Pisces, and will go into Aries next year. I mean, that just to me seems like a huge visionary moment for all humanity.
Mhm.
And so that's part of my quest now, is to understand like what's my role in this whole astro
Mhm.
draft? You know, what is it that I can bring forward to,
Mhm.
you know, help it along?
Yeah, I hear
What
you.
I'm supposed to do, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I look to you guys. I mean, we've got this little triad, and we got these mystical tools showing up.
Mhm.
You know, how what's the next step? You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I'm feeling that where it ends, and this new beginning will take off after being in kind of a neutral spot
mhm.
when it reaches that 0 point. So yeah, I hear you with that, and I'm aware of it and observing what's going on. But you had saw the light at 21, and I was a few years. It took me a few more years. I was 38, and you have the lightning path. I think mine was the karaoke path, and that's where I was. The quick version, I was on the stage and I was singing something by George Harrison, and I was taking a personal development course, and I was on my own for the first time for a long time and taking personal development. And so those new doors were opening up. So I decided to throw myself a birthday party. And along with a coworker, he invited his friends from the personal development course. We had 80 people at a Chinese buffet, all you can eat, $4.95
Wow.
with karaoke. And it was my turn to sing. And when I look out, here's the facilitators and team straight ahead of me. And I look to the left, and there's all the regulars smoking, drinking at that time. It just seemed dark. And I look over to the right and the buffet, and there's all this joy and conversation and white. It was just black and white. I just saw it
Wow.
with the teachers in front of me. And you're talking about choice. I said, yeah, I'm choosing the light. I'm I'm not going to sit on the bar stool. I'm going to go to the light. And I'm just noticing in my frame here where I'm visiting, there's a bar stool at the counter.
There,
And
you just brought some props along for the occasion.
yeah, yeah.
That's great.
So that strong choice
Hmm.
showed up at that moment. It was just like that blown away feeling going,
Yeah. Yeah.
whoa, what did I just witness? And, that has just stayed with me
Fantastic.
to choose the light, stay in the light,
Yeah.
and be aware of the dark. Know it's there. And
Work on the shadow.
yeah,
There's many gifts.
I don't have to dwell there. Yeah.
Well, in my encounter at 21, that aligns with end of the summer or the spring season of one's life. 21 years is one Uranian season. So
All right.
I've always kind of, yeah, that's kind of a fun connection to have to Uranus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being Aquarius, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius along with Saturn. And so once again, there's this cosmic alignment of everything. And it's all just so perfect
Yep.
as it is.
And now I've got the Neptune ruler. So there's that to play with.
Yeah. Well, and especially right now. I mean, the three of us have, I know you have your sun and Mercury very close at the
Right.
degree of Pisces. And
Yeah.
Barb, you have your moon at what, 27 degrees of Pisces? And it hooks into that
Wow.
little triangle that you have.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I have the asteroid Bacchus.
Yeah. It's like,
So
and
here
I
I
was
am.
in India. I was in India with this
Oh
21.
yeah.
So 21 was for me the total and another culture, and I felt like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here on this earth. It's like,
Right on. Yeah.
yeah. And I gave it all. I mean, I was determined to stay in India, but I stayed a year. But that was plenty.
It was a big year.
Yeah, and I still feel like I belong there, like with my yoga classes right now.
Yeah.
Like, and me showing up when they have a ceremony, it's like, yeah, being invited. I have a feeling that India recognizes me, like Mother India knows that I'm one of her children. So it's like, what kind of identity you are picking up on your life trip, let's say. So now from now on, from where we are right now, looking back, I mean, there's answers coming. There's answers coming where what you were doing and why you were doing it, and yeah, and why did I always stick with art. I mean, I could have thrown it out the window long ago, but art is a very important energy in the world. It's not mine, it's in the world, you know. Everybody can tap into it and see things, and people do. And I think the youngsters are also having their experiences right now. So but there, you know, it's you cannot, when you're younger, you cannot really identify what was going on. We can, because we are in the last part of it. So they will know one day they're gonna be like us, talking about what they experienced when they're like 15 or 21. I think 21 is a very important moment.
Well, it's amazing you mentioned that. There was a young woman worker on the ferry, and she was talking to a co-worker, an older gentleman, and he's saying, "Oh, I hear you're not going to be working here anymore." She says, "No, I'm going back to school, but I think I can come on Wednesdays." And I'm overhearing that, and I'm saying to myself, "Well, I'm curious why he doesn't ask her, what is it you're taking?" So when they're done, we happen to be walking down the hallway in the ferry together. And I said, "Oh, I overheard you're going back to school. What is it you're taking?" And she said, "Oh, I was taking education, but from what I'm seeing, how the teachers are treated," and we got into that conversation. And she says, "I've changed over to geography and art."
Oh, how nice.
I said, "Good for you."
Yeah, that's a great combo in itself.
Yeah.
You were confirming. Yeah, nice.
And so I said, "Wow, you're going to learn about all the places on this planet that you can venture to and do your art."
Yeah, see.
And you see the possibilities show up in her eyes. And I said, yeah, I have a friend who's struggling being a teacher in the system. And I said, wow, if you can find your niche in the art and travel with your geography, it sounds like a much happier way. So I wished her good luck with it. And yeah, it was just nice to have a chat with as you say, a 21-year-old.
Yeah, nice.
Just encourage her that she's pursuing that. Yeah, so it really was
nice.
It kind of made the ferry ride.
Definitely.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah, I've been noticing that of late, to just to connect with people with a smile or the happy.
Yeah.
Start with, it's just.
And you are the messenger in that moment for her, to keep going, to keep wanting to do that, you know, to take away insecurities or doubts or whatever. So you had you had to listen in, you know. It sounds like Carlos Castaneda's, you know, like you're just there in the right spot in the right moment to do that.
Yeah. But my curiosity was, oh, what is this young person wanting to study?
Interesting, yeah.
And then she had noticed, and then she's changing the path. And so, wow. And so, yeah, you're right. I just felt encouraging when I heard what it is she was pursuing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's important for the youngsters. I mean, they are into starting their life, you know. They are the ones who have to turn everything around. I mean, I was listening to this guy, Dwayne, which you did put up, the astrologer who
Oh,
had
yes.
this huge
Oh, yeah.
project,
Yep.
this huge project, what he was still wanted to do, and it was like making a film about his idea. And I thought, wow, this is like a big project. What is if this whole thing is gonna just disappear? You know, this kind of knowledge from the past can be just disappearing in the way I or you or Bruce, Steve is seeing the world. It can vanish like with this finger, you know. It's like bing, and it can be gone. So but then on the other hand, I didn't want to destroy his enthusiasmus he still has to keep going until he dies, you know, because he puts the investment in of all his money, of his retirement money.
Yep.
I mean, that impressed me. That he would just, you know, go for it. I mean,
Yeah, leave a legacy. And I think that's a good question for each one of us. You know, what is it
yeah,
you're bequeathing to the younger people?
yeah.
It's important.
And who you are, how you behave. Are you sitting there and taking pills and and complain about another pain in the neck or pain here or there, or are you active? You know, it's like I noticed. I just talked to my Indian friend. I said, you should tell your son to do neti. You know, that's like sniffing up the salt water.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Metaphysical.
that's what I'm doing now.
I
And I
do that.
said, I'm not gonna tell him, shh, you know, not me. I just do it because I know he watches, you know, and if I say to him, do that, he will not do it. You know, it's like because it's an order.
Yeah.
So older people are just there to keep themselves in order, keep themselves in balance, keep themselves happy, and yeah, climb the mountain like you, Dwayne, or do funny things in being in the campsite, being out in nature. Then the kids are copying it because they sort of get the information like better this way than, oh, you should be, or I told you so. I hate these words, you know, because I hated it from the when they told me what I should do, you know, like you
Yeah.
cannot go to India. I mean, I was 21. They didn't want me to go to India, you know, nobody was. And I still feel sorry for my mom, but she was like giving in. She gave in and said, yes, you can do. And I also made sure that I was writing to her, you know, because I thought that was a really nice gesture of her trusting me. And I barely made it back, you know. It's like the last 300 euros, I managed to go back to Europe overland. And just to think about that, I just had that amount of money in my possession. You cannot, I mean, it's unreal. It's
Wow.
it's unlogical. It's like, and I never was scared. I was never worried. Nada, nothing. It's like I can't believe what I did. You know, I still and this same kind of energy is still existing for these youngsters who are coming, who are 21 now, or even earlier. Maybe the kids are different. Maybe they're having different programs, or they program themselves different. But like working with stones, they love it. You know, kids love to deal with stones. And if they're
Yeah,
not,
it's so amazing you bring this up because this time of year and watching the children who get to go be out at the campsites and
no,
walk through, there's just such a sense of freedom for them to explore and, you know, be on the rock beach or go out into the water, uh, just ride their bikes through the campground and be free.
yeah,
And I haven't read a lot of novels in my life, but what you're saying, and this is about choice, it's like I read, I like John Steinbeck, and I read East of Eden, and I think it's 600 and some pages. And I just have it etched. It's on page 300. And he's talking about the Bible and this group of Chinese elders in old San Francisco. They're studying the Bible and they come to the realization and they share it with the Chinese servant in the household, and he shares it with the main character, that they discover the word, I think it's a Hebrew word, timshel. And timshel means thou mayest. And that's what was wanting to be said instead of thou shalt. So when you're talking, Barbara, about, oh, if I tell them they have to do this, there's a resistance. So it's not about thou shalt thou shalt not do this, thou shalt a command. It becomes thou mayest. Thou may, if one chooses to.
All right.
If one chooses the light, thou mayest. You don't have to, but the choice is yours. And that's Timshel. And that's out of that novel, that's just stuck with me. And going, wow, there's this choice. There's always a choice.
Well said.
Yeah, I did read this whole book to find that spot.
Yeah, that was the sweet spot. There it is.
That's the devil
There's
spot.
the sweet spot right there. Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, we have quite the symbol to observe and move along with.
Yeah, and it's also the creativity, you know, it's like with all this technical stuff we're having, you feel like, oh my God, there's not going to be space for creativity, you know, like with my stories now. I mean, now it was also a good experience to put it into ChatGPT because I wanted to try it. And because where I left it, I was kind of stuck with the grammar and with the, you know, how to formulate like a bestseller, a children book author, like I did put it in and and boom, you know, you put it in and it felt like, wow, the AI really loves that kind of story. He likes that kind of, I had the feeling that this machine or this technique of translating, like in a miracle, it was like, chop, the story was there, you know, and much nicer and more pleasing than I could have imagined, you know.
Well,
It's like, so it's not like they take away your creative space. You have to have something to put it in, you know. I mean,
mhm.
it was a whole story which I did put into the program, but you
It's
can
your
also,
story.
yeah, or you even the words, you know, if you have like 10 words,
Mhm.
you put in and then a story comes. You can make it yours still, or doing like digital painting. It's also one thing. I thought, no way, Jose, I'm not gonna do that. I'm doing it and I'm loving it, you know. It's like I always, even as an older person, I have to overcome that uh, blockage of saying, oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna put effort into it.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
not gonna be, you know, it's not worth a while. And then, but you have this creative push. You'd say, yeah, what else you gonna do, you know, with your time? You like painting, so why you not? I mean, it's totally different to paint digital, but if you know how to do it, then you enjoy it like you would paint on paper, but you're just giving orders to the tools what to do in a way. So
That's
it's a
very
different.
interesting. There's this older, uh, I mean, older, the same age as me guy
Mhm.
in the workshop that I'm working in,
Yeah.
and he prints children's books.
Hmm.
And so I'm hearing this and I'm seeing this doorway,
Oh, wow.
and he's inventing a machine
Hmm.
because he had to deal with the Asian market taking away the publishing.
Right.
And now he says, well, they took from us. He says, I found what they're doing and I'm taking it back. And
Ah, how nice.
he's building a machine
Hmm.
to do this publishing inexpensively. I
Interesting.
don't know any more than that, but it's like,
Interesting. Yeah.
wow, this doorway of
Yeah,
children.
because oh, you're muted.
I
You're
am.
mute. Ah, now it's like it's okay.
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 Yeah, so this is just this possibility is showing up that he's
Yeah.
a publisher.
Here's the publisher, and I mean it's somebody who also experienced or was like holding back. I mean, I never wanted the Chinese to. That was my worst thing. I mean, as an artist, your greatest enemy was China. You know? Like one lady said to me, "You just have to go and connect with the Chinese, and they print everything and da da da." And I said, "Oh no, you know, it's like." They made the artist feel like a stupid nothing, you know, because you wouldn't get paid for your art. They would just
Mm,
steal it from you and put it on the market with in no time.
mhm.
So that was really I felt threatened by this Chinese energy all my life because you are
Well, it sounds like it's dealing with theft,
yes, yes, it is.
Hmm.
They're
and
stealing
that's 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 dark. That's dark energy.
and you are left as unrespected as an artist. They have
Mhm.
no respect for artists. They have no respect for, you know, like all these artists, only the ones who are maybe really like egocentric, they can make it.
Mhm.
But they also have like a market behind them, you know. They're sort of slaves as well. So I think I would fight for freedom for art to be free, and I noticed that I love to make presents with my art.
Mhm.
This is the most fulfilling moment when I make something for somebody
Mhm.
special, you know. I think that must have been in us humans that we sort of create the kind of creator energy which I pass on from me to you because you like it.
Yeah, well, you're
But
gifting. I
everybody
mean,
likes
that's
it.
to gift, to give.
Ah, right. Here
That's
comes the
pretty,
word.
uh, pretty powerful value.
So I think there's something in the future. People have to find out a different way of of valuing creative moments or groups or and not let it slide into this stupid art market. I never I never really liked it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a choice of where we want to play.
Yeah, maybe the next
And so
generation
it's
has
like,
a better
okay, if
choice.
some people are going to have that, but that's the vibration they get if they participate there. And I enjoy the vibration I get in carving wood as wood shows up
Yeah,
in our trigram. And then you're
mhm,
talking about, oh, keeping record. Well, look at how it's recorded in that trunk.
right. Yeah,
There is record keeping. Record keeping is in
of
there.
this clan of trees. It's
Yeah,
like a
you can
mhm,
tell their age. You can tell what they went through, what
mhm.
they endured, or where they
And they
flourished,
also,
right? They flourished
yeah.
when those rings are really wide. Wow, they
And you
really grew.
see the
Mhm.
older or the bigger ones, the smaller ones, and
Yeah,
even like inside there is like
yeah.
a little bit
Oh, yeah. So I'm seeing that
of a
we're
distance to the
connected
other.
in that, but we're all having our own experience
Okay, yeah,
in
that's nice.
in that connection.
That's a
And then we
nice.
come together, we meet together, and then we share like, wow,
Yeah,
what did we learn?
yeah,
And it's fun to hear
yeah.
what experience we had from moon to moon. I just really enjoy that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true. And it's getting more beautiful, Dwayne.
Yeah, get more beautiful.
Yeah, and this is your glyph also, Lamat, no?
that's true.
Yeah,
Oh, this new moon?
No, we're into Etna, which is the
that's
obsidian knife.
Oh, Eknab. Okay.
You know, and cutting away of what no longer serves, kind of thing.
Ah, nice.
Which is a major theme right now with Neptune at Pisces 30. It's like
Hmm.
prepare the way for the new world kind of thing.
Right.
But we have
Yeah.
to let go of the old and the
Yeah.
structures that are still constraining, but are not functional in a good way.
Yeah.
So,
And it's bringing in that spiritual of Neptune and saying, okay, what do I need to cut away there?
yeah.
And what do I want to bring in that's new? That, as you say, serves me. So that serves me in my tree trunk and then hopefully assist the other tree trunks that I'm connected with.
Right. We learn by example.
So is that dolphin, is that made out of wood, Barbara?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is.
It's Indonesian, I think.
Hmm.
They sort of sell a lot of these kind of dolphins, light wood. Yeah.
Did you enjoy that whale releasing the little ducks?
That was
Where was
very
that?
sweet.
I think I post it to the Lightning Path group.
I can't remember which one I got it from, but
I think I did, or I don't know if it went directly to Dwayne or if I put it to both. But if not, I'll put it on the Lightning Path group too.
I think maybe you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's just this whale
Trickster
is,
whale.
yeah, trickster whale's eating, but he's suddenly surfaced into a duck family, and he's
Alright.
got them in his mouth. But he's so gentle, so big and gentle, he keeps his mouth open until they can surface and swim out of his mouth or her mouth. It's just beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ducklings. The ducklings, yeah. That's a good symbol for helping the future generations into their power, bringing them, keep them out, like older people that just, they are the whale, and then we are supposed to just make life as long as possible helpful for them.
Oh yeah.
So until they're in the state where they can just keep on ducking their own lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Their life could have been pretty miserable, but
So
the
holding the space.
whale released them, made the choice of, I think I'll release them and let them
Yeah,
swim.
duckle around, duckies. They're cute.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a nice attitude to have as an older person, that we are just there to sort of help other people into the shoes, help other people to find their way. And like you were telling this lady, your life, studying that what you want is going to open the door into the world, you know.
Hmm.
So she probably appreciated that a lot. And
Yeah, I felt she did.
not
It was just a nice parting, and then just like
not
all the
making,
best in all the best in your
yeah,
studies.
yeah, like they have there's so much fear and so much hate and so much negative energy, which is almost too much for the youngsters.
Yeah, it's
So
possible. Yeah.
they close down, and they don't want to hear from the grown-ups because they're always like, oh, don't do that. It's like they're so busy fearing the life and saying and blocking them from experiencing
Yeah.
what they think they want to get into.
Yeah,
Well,
but
some
there's
just
a lot of adults that have shut down too. And that's what they're learning from them
mm,
instead of learning about the light. But I think,
yeah.
as you say, more and more are looking for something different. And
Yeah, they become kettles. They are like sitting there and sitting on the computer and working for
yeah,
some companies and
yeah. But
becoming rich.
that's the design. That's the design. And
Mm.
yeah, it's
And then they have
the
no return.
waters that they have to navigate those waters to
Yeah.
fortunately find something that supports them and
Mm.
allows them to grow and learn.
Mm. Yeah, lots of other possibilities are opening for them, like with the sex change and with all this kind of possibilities, you weren't even thinking about it, and all of a sudden you're confronted with, oh, do I feel more like a man or do I feel more like a woman? When you're 14, it's
Yeah,
like when you have no idea you know, when I mean, this is like so much mind control that you occupy yourself with this kind of problems instead of going out and finding some good thing to do, or just let the good times roll,
Yeah, yeah, that seems to be,
or looking for a partner. It's not on at all.
it
We
seems to be the result of identity. You know, they're trying to find themselves.
Get
yeah,
out
but
into
There's,
nature.
yeah,
what's that?
that's the
Get
nature.
out into nature.
Yeah, there you go. There's the answer.
I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, what?
Thunderheart. So
Yes.
this is the river, and they had
Oh, yeah.
severe fire up in the backcountry a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
and further down along the river. And when the rains came, we had flooding, and got a bunch of properties got wiped out. In fact, there was a well, my gnarly neighbor was lived down right about here, and their whole
Mhm.
place was just wiped.
Wow.
That was the guy that was giving you a hard time about the
Yep,
building?
yep,
Oh, wow, that's very karmic.
pretty dramatic. Yeah.
Hmm.
So here's our little pit house in
Oh,
process.
wow.
You can see there's been a lot of work put in on that. That's
Yeah.
me and Teresa, and
Wow.
I just love it. But we got to this point, and the next step from here would take some big hurly burly guys, you know, to
Right?
be able to get the logs up in place. So that would kind of put a pause on for us. But the structure's still there, and we always felt that it wasn't about completing it necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It's about
Mm-hmm.
enjoying this process, you know, being out in nature and having this form emerge, you know, from our labors. But it felt
Wow.
like just a really beautiful encounter with, you know, with the ancestors, because they lived in places a lot like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just have this vision of like packing up on a horse or a burro or like a canvas so that when you use it, you put up this canvas
Ah, yeah.
around and then when you're done, just take it
Oh,
down
yeah, like a roof. Yeah,
and
yeah.
leave the shell. So
Yeah.
when you want to use it, you arrive with the canvas and have the canvas
Mm-hmm.
ceremony to put it on,
Yeah,
and then it's usable.
right
Yeah.
on. Simple.
Yeah, canvas with grommets and just
Yeah, sounds like
temporarily attach it and then take it away so it doesn't get abused. Just the structure.
Oh, oh, these are very healthy.
There's a mulin.
Mullen.
Mm,
Mullen, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Which makes
perfect for
the
winter time.
smoothest tea. I just
Mm,
love it.
Hmm.
Very, very
That's
smooth.
good stuff. Wow.
Yeah, there's lots of it up there.
Yeah, it's ready. It's dried out, ready for tea at the bottom.
Yeah. Whoops. Oh, and there's our,
Wow.
you know, it's very interesting to me to ponder on, you know, who brought those to this place. Because there's no,
mhm.
in my experience, there's no trees like this anywhere in the perimeter, you
Oh,
know.
wow.
So
And so
they come in from,
is that just the cutout and like but is it rooted?
no, it's not rooted here.
Oh, okay.
There's two of these And yeah, like somebody brought them from somewhere. And
You know, as seating or chairs or something.
yeah, but they're kind
Wow.
of low for seating, but you know, put a frying pan on maybe.
Like
Yeah,
a,
oh yeah. A side table.
Side table, there you go.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, that's the other one. Yeah.
Well, look at
See, it's
that.
a little
Wow,
bit.
that's a triad too.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at
I'm
that.
thinking this is another section from that tree, which must have been huge, you know.
Yes.
These two portions have been carried from elsewhere and brought to this land. And wow, what's that all
Yeah.
about?
looks like a face.
Hmm.
Wonder if you could identify what type of tree from the bark on the outside.
I bet you
Yeah,
can.
yeah, that's like,
It's a maybe it's a cottonwood.
that's true because they grow very big,
Hmm.
and there are cottonwoods not in
Usually
the
down by the
close
river.
area, but yeah, they're definitely closer to water.
Hmm.
And,
That's what the Hopi make the kachinas out of,
oh, right on.
is cottonwood. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, so we put in this swing. I was so
Hmm.
happy to see it's still there. You get a real nice swoosh.
Wow, excellent.
And there we
Lovely.
brought this in, and we built up this fireplace, fire
Hmm.
pit. And so there's the two slabs right there.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
They're huge.
That's just how they've been resting, you know.
Hmm.
So that gnarly neighbor is no longer there to give you a hard time.
Right? And
Interesting. Yeah.
someone had put a fairly large rock at the bottom of the first incline up to the property. And
Mhm.
from what I could tell, nobody had been there for quite some time because they would have had to have moved that rock
Mhm.
by, which is what I did. And then I put it back in place, and I thought, well, this is a lock on the door.
Yeah, right.
It felt a lot better to have it closed than open, you know.
Yeah.
But further up, it's really gnarly. There's scree coming down onto the road is making, you know, when you come along, you go like this.
Oh, wow.
So people aren't going to be going up there with their cars, you know,
Right.
like a four-wheel drive or a truck.
Hmm.
I got yeah,
Hmm.
my old '87 Chevy. It's got lots of room. So, but yeah, once I closed that put that rock back in place and got up onto the campsite, I really felt like, okay, this is my spot for the
Yeah.
foreseeable future.
Wow. Very good.
And so
Wow.
here's kind of sunset, you know, it comes in stages. It's just a lovely.
Wow.
And up in here, it's quite the climb to get up there, but there's a
Hmm.
really interesting little overhang, and
Hmm.
it could be raining and you could be dry, you know, by getting
Wow.
into this overhang. And what a great place! It just had, I really felt in touch with the ancients when I was up there.
Mm.
Um, you know, and looking out, you get a big view down the valley, and yeah, what an awesome.
Wow. Sounds like you've got your power spot.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you and I'll have to exchange power spot visits sometime.
Yeah.
You've got your
Yeah.
one with the face, and
Yeah.
got the one with the wood.
Right.
Yes, it's a nice theme for,
And Barbara's going to discover her power spot.
Yeah.
yeah, my living room.
Okay. There you go.
It's it's wonderful. We can join you in that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the beach. I just after this ceremony with this new moon, I
Yeah.
was going to the beach and there was this it was this Shiva ceremony, and there was like this stone standing in the middle of the beach, standing up like a lingam, and
Yeah.
the waves would come like in the ceremony, like with this
Beautiful.
honey milk kind of thing. I took a little video because I thought, wow, this is beautiful. You know, this is like
Viva!
confirming, and it was confirming. And the next day I went to see if the rock is still. Nothing was there anymore. Nothing. The rock
Wow.
was somewhere else. It was gone. The scenery was totally gone and totally changed.
Mhm.
It was this moment only where I had this Shiva feeling, and seeing the ceremony in the sea and this stone in the middle. I send it to you guys.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I can send it to you. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's, oh my God. You know, but this is like moments.
Yeah.
And then everything is changed. So probably we are living in this world where everything is and I can see this in the future, like that we maybe even with our own imagination creating these moments, who are sort of we can live in that
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
experience something which we need to know, or which we need for our soul or whatever
Yeah.
progress,
Yeah.
and then it's gone again. And
Or
some,
it spreads out. It's like
I don't
that
know.
finger. I think
Yeah,
you create that,
yeah,
and you create that, but that thought goes out to the universe
yeah,
in all directions, just like the photo of the hand.
yeah.
Out it
And the
goes
water
because
with the waves.
you've taken this concept of time and done that
Mm-hmm.
for the universe
All right.
versus battling or arguing, or you've done that,
Wow.
and then
Right on.
that vibrates out from
Right
that
on.
finger point.
Beautiful. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah. So we have the capacity, our triad,
To work
to
together with nature.
push those buttons.
Yeah, I mean,
Right on.
this Shiva is nature. You know,
Mhm.
it's like you
Yeah.
can get in touch with that goddess, with this Shiva,
Mhm.
when you believe in it, and when you sort of make, that's the moment where you make Shiva visible.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, this is like, wow, a big thank you, you know, a big
Mhm.
to this is why the gods in India are so working,
Mm.
and because everybody believes in it, everybody works with it.
Right.
Like Mala said today is like no food, no nada, but there's like joy. They are all doing something joyful, and tomorrow there's eating and more joy. You know, it's like a
Mhm.
celebration. Like and they did fasting like for a month, and then comes food again. You know, and
Mhm.
then it's like this is like they're living it. They're living. We
Yeah.
Europeans don't understand it. That you know, and I was always surprised. Their belief was so that I got goosebumps whenever I
Mhm.
felt this belief. And now it happened to me that I was faith, I was like really in it. And in the ceremony, there was like a moment where there was the wind came through the window, turned in the house, turned around, and bang, bang, two doors closed. You know, it was like it took this
Mhm.
energy out, this old energy out, and left us with the cleaned
Mhm.
out position. And
Mhm.
it was like they can feel it. They communicate constantly with the gods,
Right on.
and it happens, you know, things I have, this is like, it was like G going through like whoop, through the whole house, and bam bam, two doors, slam, like somebody would, you know, like
Clapping the old energy out.
yeah, just taking it and bump. Interesting. And then there's one stone there. It was never there, this stone.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, this is my living room, and I could see this beach part. I can share with you guys as my living room or my power spot.
Right.
So we can share our power spots.
Yeah.
And talk about them, or watch, or yeah, be aware of what's happening
Mhm.
from new moon till full moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you
From
didn't
the
go,
power spot. Observe what
yeah,
happens at the power spot.
yeah, like you with your stone spot, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe some we are directed to some other spots, and maybe some other people who are listening to us right now have a power spot as well,
Yeah,
or
I'd like to hear about it.
a power tree, for example. I mean, you can sort of, like I said, to you, to adopt a tree. This is also like something you have
Mhm.
like a power spot. So that's maybe for the younger people also very beautiful. I mean, you know, like grandchildren, you could also teach them to feel like like my father did this with us by going to the woods, and we would
Yeah.
build little dwarf houses, and where there was like these three trees sort of growing together. In the middle there was always like a water, and that would be the water for the fairies, you know. It's like things like
Yeah,
this.
I was remembering that.
You too.
I was talking about that this morning, how my
See,
dad would take us out near the Grand Canyon with his army cots,
yeah,
and we'd sleep out. And that at 8 years old, that was the first time I like woke up
Mhm.
and noticed that the sky had changed during the
yeah,
night. And that's still etched in my
yeah,
memory.
Wow,
Like, whoa.
yeah,
beautiful.
And he took me out there
yeah,
and I got to experience that.
yeah. That
So
this is,
it's everybody's has, yeah, they can find their power spot.
This is
yeah.
great.
Talk about it.
We're putting
Join
out
in.
the invitation to all of those of you who are showing up
Yeah,
on YouTube and so on. You
right.
know, for the next session, let's open the door and have people
Yeah,
share.
open the
Yeah,
door to share the power spots and what they feel or what they mean to you.
Exactly.
that's a
Now
nice
I have a new
idea.
appreciation of the symbol behind Dwayne. That's what it looks like. That power spot is right
Yeah,
there.
right. Yeah,
It's a
It's the
bright
same as,
idea.
you see, he's got his hand right there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we've hit our 2 hour
Wow.
just like
Thank
that.
you. Yeah.
But it's been
having
great.
fun
Really.
Yeah.
in a
Always.
nice conversation. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very
Yeah,
sweet.
because it's like inspiring. This is like it's nice to inspire each other,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
because everybody brought something in, and here are all the elements.
Hmm.
Thank
Really.
you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay, guys.
Nice
Thank you,
seeing your
Barbara.
face.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Yeah, bye. Ciao.
Bye. Love you.
Oh,
Love you guys.
bunch of blessings.